Well, maybe I think we're live, Sonia.
Yes, pro, yay.
Absolutely. Okay, just let me check one little thing to make sure that we really are live. It'll come through in just a second on Facebook. Sometimes there's a delay on here, even though we see it's live on our end. And let's see, have we gotten live yet? Okay, not quite yet, almost. Well, everyone, we are live here. I'm Liz Dawn, and we are here live with best-selling author, psychic intuitive teacher, world-renowned, and one of my favorite human beings is Sonia Choquette.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Liz.
And I've
so
got
happy to be with you.
I have to show you some of the most amazing books, The Psychic Pathway, and we've got The Wise Child, and we've got True Balance, all of Sonia's, well, not all of Sonia's books, but some of her books here. Because how many books have you written? You've written a lot of
27.
books. 27. That's an accomplishment. I mean,
it's a passion. It's a devotion, actually. I know my work has been from the beginning, just on a soul level. I've been a messenger and a teacher. And so as life changes, new books are required, both other people's lives and my own. I've written about both extensively. So we are in kind of hyperspeed, rapid growth mode, and that's kind of how the books come along too.
I love that. 27. Everybody's making comments. Everybody's saying hi. They're saying 27 books. Janice is like 27 books. Oh my goodness. And I'm still not. Janice and Diane, I see that you're on here. Would you just let me know that I'm on live? Oh, there we are. Okay, I found our feed. Hold on one second. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to have a great conversation with Sonia. And Sonia, why don't you share with us where you're at and what you've been doing and where you are in the world?
Right now, I actually have been living in Paris for the last 5 years. I reinvented my life and went through my own personal pre-awakening experience after being married for 30 years and having a different life. That was kind of my breaking out into I would say maybe a non-male identified life, non-patriarchal life. Moved to Paris, which is very feminine. And then at the present moment, in the midst of this great awakening, in March, I came to London, where my second daughter, Sabrina, lives. She got married and lives here in London. She moved here 3 years ago already. So kind of a psychic convergence, and by loving invitation, they invited me here. And we're still in lockdown in London. So I've had what I call a 5-star lockdown with them. It's been beautiful. She's a great cook. My son-in-law likes me. I'm so fortunate. It's been very blessed. And so it's been nice to have this family connection during this time.
Oh, that must be so much fun, because as we were talking before, I had such a close relationship, more like a sister relationship, with Ariel, who you knew very well.
Yes.
And
I appreciate that now, that especially as my daughters are grown. They're my best friends.
Yeah.
You know, on a soul level, you come in with certain people that anchor you and get you, and we have soul agreements. And both of my daughters, I'm fortunate to say, I have that relationship with.
Oh, wonderful. I know that for me, I believe that soulmates come in many, many different hats. And I feel like Ariel was definitely one of my soulmates in this lifetime.
Absolutely. I saw it from way back in 1993. So yes.
I know. I was trying to remember how long I've known you. We started the company in 95. So I'm thinking like 97. You were early on the scene. Like, we've known each other a long time.
I believe I was still with Random House.
Yes.
I had published the books you showed. I had 6 books with Random House. And I came to teach Your Heart's Desire.
Yes.
That was my first workshop.
Yes.
And I remember it because I was beyond thrilled, and we had such fun. it was a great experience. And it was really, and thank you both for seeing me and for seeing me as a teacher and giving me that validation, because that was very early in my public career. And so I just want to say thank you for that, because it really validated what I knew in my heart in probably one of the most significant ways at the time.
Wow. Well, of course, because you are an amazing teacher, just as much as you were back in the 90s, which I can't believe. That was like 25 years ago. Isn't that wild?
No, I feel like we're timeless beings, so aren't we?
Because I look at you and I'm like, Sonia has not aged at all. Wait a second. She looks
You haven't
exactly
either.
the same.
You know, when you do what you love, you kind of transcend time, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit. You work in a different dimension.
Well, yeah, we definitely do in this arena. Absolutely. Someone said that they posted a question. So let's take a look and see why I'm not. I am here and posted question. Janie, if you would post your question again, that would be great. And if you all have any questions, I see there's quite a few of you that are popping in and saying hi. It's so wonderful to see everybody here. Go ahead and post your questions. I'll be able to see them, and then we'll get to those as well as Sonia and I are having a conversation. What I'm really wanting to have a conversation about is, one of the things that you are world renowned for, of course, is teaching people about sixth sensory living, paying attention to our intuitions. You're in your own right and way. You are an amazing psychic. I've had readings with you, and amazing intuitive. So I'm wondering if you could share with us right now, like, what is your take on what's happening? We can talk about coronavirus as well as what's happening globally, with all the protests around the world. So I've really been excited to have this conversation.
I'm glad you're asking, because I believe they're all related. And I think that what we are experiencing and have been moving toward for some time is that, and we know this, anybody who's been in some mode of conscious pursuit, conscious awakening, that we're coming to the end of an era. And that is the end of that era is patriarchy. So in the external world, that means father figures outside of us who tell us what to do. External authorities, church, father, the family, business. And we've been in this era for 1,000 years. And that era, it's like life is like a wheel that turns. Evolutionarily, it turns. And we are coming into the end of that era. And we've been approaching that now for a good 50, 75 years. Eras change over time. They don't change like that, but there is an apex moment. And we are now experiencing sort of what I call the last coughing, dying, contracting breaths of patriarchy, trying to hold on. And because any pattern is held together by a vibrational like a vibrational frequency. And I like to explain it like this. And you can look on YouTube for this. In the 80s, I think, maybe even 70s, there was a commercial with Ella Fitzgerald, and it was called "Is It Real or Is It Memorex?"
Memorex.
Remember that commercial?
Yes, I do.
And on that commercial was a crystal goblet, and Ella, not visible, sang a note, and the goblet shook. And then she sang a higher note, and the goblet shook more. And then she sang a higher note, and the goblet shook so much that it broke apart. And what that demonstrates, and you can see it for yourself, that when you put a higher vibration on any pattern, the first thing it does is it contracts to try to hold on to itself. It collapses in. And as you keep the higher vibration coming in and elevating that vibration, it collapses more and collapses more. And it's actually a violent kind of battle for a moment. The old pattern is fighting the higher new pattern until breakthrough. So using that metaphor, what we are going through now on our planet is this higher vibration. We'll say it's COVID was the first note. and it contracted us. And patriarchy is not just an external thing. It's actually, far more importantly, an internal thing. Your head, your sort of masculine, outward oriented self being disconnected and overpowering the heart, which is the divine feminine.
Mhm.
And it's actually the first organ of the body to develop. And it's until you feel a heartbeat, there's no spirit, there's no life. When you feel a heartbeat, the spirit is here. So what's been happening in the external world is this higher note. First, it threw us back into our bodies. We've been so disconnected. So first we come back to our body. That's the first note. And back to our homes, which is the second note, because we were disconnected. We were in our phones and we were speeding around, and we're not focused on our families. We're not focused on our bodies. We're not focused on our relationships. So that was the first wave of higher vibration, disruptive, just like the goblet shook. So then we get home and we all of a sudden we're feeling. That's the big shock. A lot of us didn't know what to do with that because we'd been so numbed out. So in our heads. So then that first and second wave brought us, kind of disrupted our fast forward, disrupted our technology, disrupted our checking out, put us back in our bodies, back in our homes, back in our relationships. We had to look at who we are, the biggest relationship, start feeling my own feelings that I've numbed out, and start looking at who I'm with. Parents didn't even know who their kids were. They didn't know what they were learning in school. All of a sudden they have to teach them. So we're back to what was sort of the original plan, the way it originally. The second wave is now coming. No, the second wave is actually the environment. We got so disconnected from the environment that we had no conscious perception or feeling that we were actually hurting it. But when we all got stopped in our tracks, all of a sudden we began to, first of all, the environment got better, but we also began to notice it. A huge conversation is, oh my God, the sky's so clear. Oh my goodness, I hear the birds. In fact, there's even conversations that the birds are louder now than they've been in 75 years because they're not fighting the airplanes. You know, oh my God, I'm in the garden. I can see the garden. And so that's the second wave, is we wake up again to the second level of disconnect, which is from our planet. So first level of disconnect from ourselves, second level of disconnect from our earth. Now we're in the third note, which is our disconnect from one another, our disconnect from humanity. So in part of the patriarchal sense, the ego otherizes people. Whereas in the spirit, there's no them. There is just us. So we're at the first waves of that last contraction. It gets really struggle before a breakthrough. And it's a battle. It is a battle. So what can we do as conscious people? Well, we need to all be Ella Fitzgerald, and we need to keep putting on that higher note. That's what we need to do. That higher vibratory note. We need to keep singing the song of the heart. We need to keep listening to our intuition and not the news. We need to keep honoring our spirit and being of high and loving vibration. We need to keep seeing how there's just us. There's no them, and any part of us that has subscribed to them has been confused, because we all share that same breath, that same heartbeat, and the same planet. And so we can do something very significant by making that choice. And we don't have to, if we feel, everybody goes to the river of life to do what they're called to do. Maybe your soul is called to be a vocal voice at a protest. Maybe your soul is called to have a conversation like this where people can hear. Maybe your soul is called to sing and write poetry. Maybe you're called to just go in your own home and meditate and send out loving vibration. It all makes a difference. So that you have to be guided by your inner frequency. If your heart is open and loving and you're not fearful, you're doing your part. And I feel very strongly that don't be fooled. Every part of contributing to that higher vibration will break the old pattern and liberate us into a new experience.
Whew.
So that's how I feel. I truly feel, and I truly feel guided for that, really and truly. So it's messy and exciting, and we signed up for this, and we're doing it.
And I love that you said, I love so much of what you said, and everybody's like, yes, it makes so much sense. I don't know if you're seeing some of the comments. You're making so much sense to my heart. I mean, everything you're saying, and I have been seeking answers within myself, and this is what I know I've been looking for, and I can hear everybody else saying the same thing. Not one breath is taken that does not affect the universe, someone just wrote. Oh, that was beautiful. And the one thing that this group has definitely been doing, we've got about 8,500 people in this group, and we've all been talking about that this is kind of what we've been in training for, if you will. This is all the studying we've been doing all this time, and all of the, intuitive work.
Our souls knew. And we're all going, wow, I signed up for this.
Yeah.
And it's not dress rehearsal. And it's exciting because those higher note vibrations are being sustained. Those higher note loving vibrations are the more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say it's important for all of us at this time. Two things. This is a time of learning. And we don't know what we don't know. So let us be available to learn new things. That's important because we want to know. But I think our mantra should be, I want to learn. I want to learn. That would be, and guide me. I want to learn and bring it in any way that I can learn. I'm available. And that is really kind of the message of intuition, because intuition means inner teacher. Like tuition means to learn. So let us say we all want, and we're all leaning into being enlightened, ascended people, but we're still learning. We're students. And let's be available and excited students, and look at this learning process as a beautiful thing. And the heart loves to learn. The ego doesn't like to learn so much. So if there's any part of you that's pushing back, see that goblet contracting, and just breathe into it and just say, I'm learning. Learning when we were in school wasn't always easy, but if we're willing, we will learn. And we are being taught collectively and personally and privately, and we're helping each other. But I do feel it's super important to take that attitude of availability. It's like, I don't know, I'm learning, but I want to.
Right. And lean into it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And with no judgment, with no like, damn, I should have known, or how could we know? We don't know. We're learning together collectively to be a higher frequency human. We are learning, and we're being vibratorily changed every day, and it's uncomfortable. But if you've ever been to any of my workshops, I always say, my teacher said to me, unless you're uncomfortable, you're not learning. I used to tell my students, I'm here to make you miserable. That way you have a good experience.
Great.
So I just want
even more uncomfortable.
Our discomfort is a good sign. We're learning.
Well, it's so interesting because I was in a terrible amount of anxiety the other day, because this whole thing just upsets. It's not just what's going on out there, and not just, my heart is aching for everyone that's out there marching and protesting, and then on both sides of everything, you just,
it's a mess.
Right. And I've never done this before, but I decided, so what? I'm anxious. I've
Good.
always tried to cure the anxiety. And I went out and exercised, and I just said, okay, I'm just going to breathe into it. Just breathe, literally breathed into my
Yeah.
stomach area where the anxiety was living, and just I said, okay, so what?
Good job.
Leaned into it. It was so hard, but I did
love
it.
that. And you know what? I think it's also important because believe me, I've had many nights where I woke up in a complete wide awake at 3 a.m. just from anxiety and heart.
Right.
We're not, because we are conscious, heart-centered, leaning beings anyway, what we're feeling is not just our anxiety. We are feeling the gasping contractions of the old fighting the new in the world. So that's why you did the perfect thing. Breathe the spirit into, because anxiety comes from the ego. Breathe into it. And just tell that part of you, we're not killing you. We're just putting you in your proper place.
Yeah.
That's all. And you'll like it. You'll appreciate not being the boss. The spirit will be the boss and you get a break. So just, actually, I would like to share a breath that is instantly calming. It's practical. When you get overwhelmed, look around the room and notice one or two physical things without it being a drive-by glance. Like really notice there's a chair, there's the window, there's the floor, because this brings you out of your head and puts you in your body. Breathe in slowly. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, which calms those frantic nerves, and breathe out like you're blowing candles. Pulling your belly to the spine and do it again. Breathing in candles, and keep your eyes open because it keeps you present. Twice, breathe in again. And then I say, go down the slide. And then smile. And do you notice how your brain stops talking? Because that's the vagus nerve. The tongue on the roof of the mouth calms that anxiety brain. And the smile pulls the curtains of your heart open. So you kind of land home. It's like the 3 breaths home. And it really does work. But the key is to keep your eyes open.
Okay.
And notice something.
Present. Okay.
When we close our eyes, we go back to our head. You keep your eyes open and you focus on, well, there's my glass, or there's the cup, or there's the window, or there's the computer. It keeps you present. And you can't be anxious in present mode. It's always future mode. So just a quick technique. It takes 20 seconds.
I felt an immediate, could you see my energy shifted?
Yeah. You look 5 shades brighter, as we all do when we do that, because your spirit steps in. It's the spirit. And so that's just something for everybody to have available.
So you talk so much about coming fully present with our spirits in our bodies and being present. How do you know, like, how can we catch ourselves when we're out of alignment? Like, what are some signals that we know we're out of alignment?
Good question. So I want to give everybody a visual of what alignment is. Your spirit is your divine self. Your soul is the self that's here learning and choosing and growing. When your spirit and your soul align with your mind, so your mind helps and you get in the body, you are an empowered, invincible, unstoppable being. You align them all. When these fragment off, when the soul gets disconnected from the spirit and overwhelmed by the mind and out of the body, you spin. And you can't find peace. You can't find relief. Your mind is racing and looking for itself. So we get anxious, we get obsessive, we start binging on whatever is the but we're trying to grab ourselves. We're trying to find ourselves.
Yeah.
So you bring, what you want to do is you want to say, okay, I have a divine spirit and a soul that gives me consciousness that's here to grow and learn. They're going to work together. And you just give yourself that affirmation. My soul and spirit are friends. They're not disconnected. But then you say, okay, my mind is my helper. It's not the boss. I'm not going to fight with my mind. It's going to support my soul and spirit. So you kind of tell your mind, okay, you can chill. You're not the boss. You're the helper. And then you do that breath into the body. And then do a second breath up through your feet. Imagine you're breathing up through your feet back into that same heart space. And you'll notice that you drop in. And when you drop in, all the invaders, space invaders, move out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in your body, squatters move in. Other people's thoughts, generic anxiety. When you are in your soul and spirit, your life force, your purposeful divine self is in your body, drawing from the earth and saying, I'm here. All of that goes away. And it takes practice. You might do it for a minute and then it all comes back in. It's like, nope, I'm going to do it again. My soul is serving my spirit. My mind is helping me, not fighting me. My body is my container. It's my kingdom, my queendom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in charge. I'm going to learn. But you have to really want to step in. And it takes maybe 30, 40 times of doing that. That could be over a day or 2 or 3, but you'll feel it. And the way you know you're in that flow is you stop thinking. You're listening instead of thinking. And you're not listening to words, you're listening to energy. You're listening for vibration. You're listening for guidance. And your mind is quiet. So that's how you know.
There's like a sense of stillness.
See? Even that breath stilled the mind. It's because we're wired this way. This isn't a big fight. It's just a remembering. It clicks in naturally. It's like a key in a lock. You just kind of...
Yeah, because I felt like the minute I keep getting these shots, like these energy.
And when your mind is real busy, my mind is trying to be the boss. I've said this, and many of who have been in my workshops knows, I call that your barking dog. Your mind is your spirit's best friend. It's like a barking dog, but it is not the boss, and you don't let the barking dog run the show.
That is great. That is great.
And that way it's easy. It's like, oh, there's my barking dog. What do? Take your barking dog for a run. Go for a walk. Go for a dance. Go for a swim. Move that energy. Mm-hmm. But don't let it be the boss.
Don't let it
not the boss.
Oh, that's beautifully stated. So we've got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
And let me see if I can see who this is. I have to kind of toggle back from different screens. Okay, so, Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Michelle is here, and Lisa's here, and Judith is here, and there's so many people here.
Yay.
Hanging out with us, Sonia. Shauna has said, this is all so beautiful, but I've had trouble sleeping lately with everything going on. She wants to know if you have any tips with that at all.
Actually, I do. A tip and a gift.
Okay.
If you go to my Facebook, just a few posts back, I channeled a meditation for the archangels to come in and surround you. It's a gift. It's a beautiful 30-minute, beautiful meditation. And you can get it and just, you can either listen to it with headphones or just play it in the house. And it elevates and takes you up to this vibration, this higher vibration. So it's just a couple posts back, and it says free meditation, and then I posted it again saying if you didn't get it, here it is. So it's just a link.
It's on your Facebook page?
Yeah, see if you can pull it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now.
It's a couple days ago. Actually, I think it was Sunday. And then I
Okay.
think I reposted it on Monday. I did a live, and then the link is there. Maybe you can get the post. It's soniachoquette.com.
Here we go.
Did you
Okay,
find it?
yeah, it's on your
Share
Facebook
it.
page.
Share
Discover
it.
how.
You can get the
Is it
link
the one,
because
discover how to tap into your intuition for health, happiness, and is that what it is?
it's a 30-minute and meditation. Is that what it says?
Okay, no, that's a mini course. Hold on.
No, it's not a mini course. It's a free meditation.
Okay, miracle happens. I know I'm going to find it here.
It was Sunday. I posted it on Sunday.
Sunday. Does anybody remember the date on Sunday?
It was like the 30th.
Found it.
Yay. Maybe you could cut and paste it. It's a beautiful 30-minute free meditation that is, I think you should listen to it and also play it in your house.
Okay, here we go.
And it's really beautiful.
So it's right there. Sonia's free meditation. Let me go ahead and put it right here. Oh, that is such a gift. Thank you.
And I have a beautiful friend. He's a singer, songwriter, actor in Australia. And I was channeling it, and he called me and he goes, I'll sing it. So on the other side of the world, he created the invocations of the archangels, and I'm channeling the meditation. And another friend of mine wrote the music in LA. So it's this global convergence. And then another guy mixed it in a studio. We're all at home. It just was a gift. So that could be helpful.
That's amazing. Okay, so wait a second. We've got.
Thank you. I have a beautiful.
Here we go. We've got two different areas. Oh, this is so great. We've got two different, I shared with you, we were live in a couple of different places. So I'm seeing everybody else's post on our fan page, and everybody's saying hi. Justin is there. Cynthia is there. Everybody's over there as well. So I just want to make sure I post it on that space as well. So for those of you on the Celebrate Your Life fan page, I just went ahead and posted that free meditation on there as well.
And two things about that. You can listen with headphones or play it in your house while you're just let it clear the vibration.
I love that. Oh, I'm excited. We get presents.
Yay. I'm happy because it was a gift. And I feel like it was a gift for this time right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
This third wave of yikes.
Yeah. And that will help, Shauna. That will definitely help you sleep.
Yes.
Calm down your mind, especially with the
breathing. It'll knock her out.
And it'll knock you out. Better than Valium.
It will.
Anything's better than Valium, right?
Yes. It's an invocation of 9 archangels. So it's very powerful.
So do you have a sense, I know I'm going to ask you the when question, but do you have a sense of when this energy is going to kind of
subside and stabilize?
Yeah.
Well, here's my feeling. I think we haven't felt the full worst contraction, so buckle up and don't be afraid.
Okay.
I think July could, by appearances, be overwhelming, but so don't pay attention. Keep your vibration high. But I'd say March of next year, we're going to think, God, I'm in a different planet. And I feel like we just need to know. That might seem like a long time, but it's no further away than maybe just a little past what we were just at Christmas. So just realize our job is to know that we as light workers, we are necessary, and we're going to get through this and make a big difference in the contributions of healing and evolution. We're needed. This is our purpose time. So we're going to be safe and protected. We're sensitives. So we need to be selective about what we expose ourselves to. And it's very seductive to get pulled into the dark. So we can be pulled into the news and pulled into the opinions, and it's all just opinion and bias. It's just looking at the universe from this person's head or that person's head, and everybody's head right now is a little crazy. So nobody's telling you the truth, okay? Just have to remember that. They're telling you a very subjective version of the truth. I don't care who they are. So and I say right now, everybody's brain is crazy town. So why go there and visit? Just stay in your frequency and stay in your light and listen to your inner guidance. Don't listen to them. That's patriarchy. Listen to the other authorities outside of you. Don't. Just don't. What if you just don't?
I have to tell you, I love that you're saying this because
Really?
I have been doing this. I have been
Good.
on Instagram. No. I've been on Instagram. I've been looking at everybody's opinions, and I've been reading about this one and reading what this leader says and what that leader says of this movement and this and I've been making myself totally Meshuggah because but I love what you just said. It's that everybody's feeling Meshuggah. Even
exactly.
the are.
All anybody can say is their little version. So the
Right.
key is, at what point do we say, okay, I'm going to check in with my own heart,
Yes.
my own inner guidance? What if my spirit is the authority? I'm not checking out. I'm not dissociating. I'm not going unconscious. I will contribute, but I want to contribute from an authentic place, not a shame and fear, and I'm not spiritual enough, or that doesn't help. We need to be educated. And I think that there's tremendous, excellent books out there right now that can help us. There's beautiful things, but I don't think we should jump around for this social media thing or that, because just know if it's creating misery, it's pulling you down. If it's inspiring you and pulling you up, carry on. If you're collapsing and your light is going out, that is more patriarchy, which is some other authority is going to tell me my value and worth and truth. It's messy. We need to, we don't know what we don't know. Okay? We don't know the experience of others, but I laughingly say, okay, I don't know what it feels like to be a person of color, for example. And I want to know. And I have beautiful people of color in my life of all colors. But I do know what it's like to be a public psychic and everybody hates you. So I do have the experience of being hated on just for being me.
I remember there was a year when I
do know that, so I can use that as a bit of insight.
Reference, yeah.
Because I've been, all the colors hated me at that point. So I can use what little bit I know, and I can remember, and I can learn more. But the most important thing is this taking me to an open, loving, courageous heart? Or is this collapsing me and shaming me? Because that takes away my light, and that doesn't help anything. So we have to keep checking internally. Is my light getting brighter and stronger and courageous? Am I ready to step up and stand in the light and say, if something doesn't work, and I have that experience as a public psychic my whole life, saying, I call it snake medicine. You get bitten so many times, you get a bit immune. I'm okay I know what it's like to be hated on and still know who I am and not let anyone cause me to doubt myself.
Right.
I think we need to help each other of all, and I do think people of color, I know because I have so many people in my own immediate family of color. Just about everybody in my family has married outside our race. So it's like I know and have observed. And we have to be aware, and we have to recognize there's one spirit, one body, and that we need to keep our light strong, and we need to learn what we don't know. But if we race around and have ourselves overwhelmed with all these opinions, and it doesn't brighten our light, that's not helping. And what we know in our own heart is valid. Our own spirit tells us, and that's the point of all of this.
That's
is
it,
to
right there.
go home and go to source.
That's it right
Go,
there.
don't go to the patriarchal expert out there. Go inward and connect with your source and live that light. You don't need permission.
So someone had asked, and Cynthia had asked this, Cynthia Tolley, and I was thinking the same thing. So does that mean, is this not hiding our heads in the sand, though? Should we, not be aware of what's going on?
It depends on what your spirit says. If your spirit says, get out there and march, do it. If you're, like I said earlier, listen to what your spirit says, but the prayer should be, Holy Spirit, move me in the direction of my highest good and the good that I can serve at this time. Move me in that direction, not just my head, move my words, my heart, my body, my whole being. Let me participate in the way that brings the highest good. Pray for that and be available to that. Be available to that.
I just got this. I just got it for myself in terms of, I have a saying that I say to myself all the time, and it's not mine. Stay in your lane, Liz. Stay in your lane of vision. And for me, that means, because when I get distracted with all of these other dramas of what's going on, and I've been watching all of these videos, and I'm involved in some, I volunteer for some of these, the Black Lives Matters organizations, things like that. And what happens when I start to see the violence is I want to go do something, but it's not within my
That's not maybe your part.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We all have a part. And it's like we all go to the river of life with our cup.
Right.
And fill your cup with the way you can help. Don't park and go and hide. There is a way you can help that your spirit says. You do this. This is how you serve. It's like in a war. Some drive the ambulances. Some take care of the wounded. Some are on the front lines. Some are making the deliveries in the back. Some are cooking in the kitchen. We all have a role. And I can't tell anybody what their role is. Only your heart can. But listen and then do that.
My role always has been is just bringing people together to present teachers like yourself. That I know that's my thing. Ariel, you say we're stewards to bring consciousness, and the spiritual community has been accused of, oh, you're just going to say love, light, and prayer, and da 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 da. Well, someone has to. Someone has to hold that light.
Right. Yeah. We all have, and I don't think we have. I think we'll all be personally guided.
Yeah.
We will be personally guided. For some of us, we will be guided that we absolutely need to be at the protests.
Yes.
None of us will be guided to be violent. None of us. Violence is not of the spirit. The spirit is there's no them, there's just us. Violence is not. We can have anger because anger means stop. But conscious anger is a boundary, and then this is what works. This doesn't, and this is what works. This stops. This is what works. So we speak up, we vote, we speak up, we participate, but each of us has to go and say, okay, what am I doing? And if my conscience is troubled, then maybe there's something I'm not doing I should be doing. Mm-hmm. And if my nervous system is trash, then maybe there's something I'm doing that I should not be doing. Where is that place of peace?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm doing my part.
When your adrenals are just totally wiped out, something's
right.
I'll raise my hand to that one.
Right. So I feel like we all have to check in personally.
Yeah.
Very personally. And we do need to make peace with being uncomfortable. But if you're following your spirit and your soul is in your body and your mind is helping, you will find that you're making those decisions to speak up, to show up, to express through your actions appropriately. I trust us. I do. I trust us and I trust that if we remember that we are one spirit, we will be moved, not just mentally moved. We will be, in every way we are moved to show up in the way that's 100% us showing up. Just, we don't have to show up violent.
Right.
It's okay to show up angry. Anger is okay if we channel it into the boundary that says no more. And we channel the action into, it's like, okay, enough of this, but then what else? What's the right flow? So, and I do hope everyone votes.
Yes, because that's a very
Because
easy,
that's the one place
simple
where I
action,
think most people
right?
would really, first of all, ask yourself right there. If nothing else, go right there. Are you voting? You were given a gift of that vote. Do that, and and let your spirit guide you. But show up.
Show up.
Mm-hmm. And
Oh,
trust your spirit will show you how.
This is, yeah. This is so perfect.
Like, and don't listen to me. Go to your heart. That's what this whole thing is about, is to go inward and reconnect to your inner teacher who is connected to the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And it will move you. So I trust and I see that. And I believe it. And I have faith in us.
I mean, just what you shared about, you know, when you hear information, does it expand or contract?
Mm-hmm.
And this expands my being.
Yeah. And we'll be asked to do things that are uncomfortable. But if it's right for you, it'll stay there. Your mind will go, I don't want to, it makes me nervous, but it'll say, show up.
Okay.
What if something happens, blah, blah, show up. But it'll also say, stop that. If you're on the wrong road, don't go there.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't get caught up in that confusion. And I do want everybody to know every human on the planet right now is a bit mentally ill. So don't get too caught in other people's minds.
No, that's what I love when you said, it's like, why am I listening to other people as if their truth is gospel? Because if I'm the Shugana, then everybody else must be too.
Everybody is.
If we're all like
everybody. Maybe the Dalai Lama is okay, but I'd say the rest of us, I wouldn't trust your barking dog, that's for sure.
Exactly. Oh, Sonia, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
It's a
So
pleasure.
greatly
It was a
appreciate
pleasure.
it. So, and all of you paying attention and out here, please make sure, go ahead and scroll up. I put the free meditation. I'll post it again.
That will be, you'll find it brings, it really is beautiful. It's peace. It's very powerful, and it'll calm your questions. It'll help things get clear.
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us. This is just, and please share this.
I love all of you. I love us. I believe in us. And I believe that we are collectively, we won't fail. We won't let the world or ourselves down. We'll show up. I know that.
Oh, thank you so much. Everybody's telling you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your kindness, Sonia. Love, love, love this soulful woman. You.
A lot of love to everybody. Okay, everybody. Bye.